Welcome back, Out-of-Body Explorers. Today I'm going to talk about how I meet the dead through the movie Flatliners. And what I love about this movie, it really is an excellent example of what happens in the other dimensions. So now what I'm talking about is the Flatliners from 1990, the old one, with Kiefer Sutherland, Christopher Platt, Billy Baldwin, Kevin Bacon, and Julia Roberts. And now what I want to focus on is a couple of things throughout this movie. Now, my last video I talked about forgiveness. And there's all of that inside of this movie. Whoever made this movie was dead on exactly what these dimensions work like.
Today's a good day to die.
What happened was these 5 characters are Chicago medical students. Chicago, the hub of corruption. But really it is if you go into history, but we can talk about that another time. And so these students wanted to figure out what the answer was to life. They were just curious. So they all put themselves in a near-death situation. And
I don't want to die. I want to come back with the answers to death and life.
Now obviously this is a spoiler alert. It's an old movie. Maybe a lot of people watched it, but rewatch it because it's so interesting how these dimensions work exactly like this. And the reason why these individuals went back into that situation is because they needed to go into forgiveness, atonement. They were going to fix their karma by actually meeting up with some of the wrong stuff that they did. I talked about forgiveness in my last video. And what's amazing is there are 3 scenes that I really think are very important. One scene is when Kiefer Sutherland is walking through the alleyway and an older woman just out of nowhere says,
"Right, Nelson? Because in the end, we all know what we've done."
And now I made a TikTok video on at the end of time, all debts will be paid. And that's how your karma really works. So that's an interesting part of the movie. But we're going to really focus on Kevin Bacon and Julia Roberts.
220, don't forget.
You just hurry up and get back and buy us breakfast.
Now, if you do rent the movie, it's at 1 hour and 29 minutes. What happens to Kevin Bacon is he goes into his forgiveness mode and finds Winnie Hicks. At 1 hour and 29 minutes, Julia Roberts and him have a conversation. He explains to her how it has lifted him, his spirit.
I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it lifted somehow, just asking for forgiveness.
Just confronting Winnie Hicks and asking for forgiveness. That Julia Roberts plays is she is now obsessed with near-death experiences.
Why are you always asking the patients about death anyway?
And now when Julia Roberts does her jump, her astral projection, her near-death experience, when she does her jump, now she's having these dimensional moves happening on her 3D plane, and she now figures it out.
Sweetheart, sorry.
I want you to understand, it is exactly the same situation of what Julia Roberts goes through. I see these individuals, and then I get Christed.
You forgive me.
And now Christed to me is getting the light from God, the light from Source, the light from the light beings, all the way crashing into my body and having this feeling of euphoria. I get nothing but a feeling of love in my heart, and all I can do is bust out crying. So it's very difficult when I feel the dead come through to me because of the love that they have. And I want everybody who is waiting for their relative to come to them, and I'm wishing everybody could get Christed. I want to leave kind of these 2 videos right now. One is about a near-death experience that this individual went through, and the other one is how I felt when I met my pets who came back to me. So I will catch you in the next video. Press like and subscribe. Punch the bell if you can. Hope to see you in the astral. See you next week.